Hello everybody, let's create a simple IK foot setup, just like this one. Okay, so for this we got these three attributes. We got heel roll, we got foot roll, and we got toe roll. Okay, so let's get started. First we create the actual joints. So make sure you're in the rigging tab, click the joint tool, and then we start off by creating our joints like this. Now we're going to go into joint orientation. So with this one selected, press F8 on your keyboard, press this little question mark, and now you can see the rotation of the joints here. The one that's most important is this one over here and this one over there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the side view and we're going to make sure this one is rotated up so it's about 90 degrees like that. Same thing with this one. Make sure that one's also 90 degrees like so. The reason we set the Y pointing up like this is so that we can get a clean rotation of it, just like this. Press F8 again, select the joints, and you can see the rotation like this. So before we continue to do anything, we're going to fix this rotation order. To set the rotation order, press Ctrl A to bring up the attribute editor. You can see the rotation order over here. This is the standard, but the way this is pointing, I prefer it to be on Z, X, Y, and that means we can get a clean rotation like this without hitting gimbal lock. Depending on the way that your skeleton is set up, you might have to play around with this to get the best result yourself. A good thing to do now is actually name the joints. So we're going to start from the top. We're going to name the joint 1. We're going to say... And then we're going to name this one knee joint. Name this one ankle joint. Toe joint. Toe tip joint. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to create the IK handle. So let's double click on this one. And for this one, we need to set it to rotate plane solver and use these settings. So click the first one, click this one, and now when we have that one open, we can move it like this, and that's a good start. For the next setup, we're gonna click this one again, but this time we're gonna set single chain solver. We're gonna take it from this joint to this joint, and we're gonna do it again, but from this joint to this joint. All right, so now we have those, and we can name these IK handles. So we can do this one, foot IK, ankle IK, toe IK. What we're going to do now is we're going to create the pole vector, and I'm going to show you what usually happens if you don't set this up correctly. So first of all, I'm just going to go into curves. I'm going to just use a normal one like this. I'm going to set it like that. Seems like a pretty good spot, right? I'm going to zero out all of these the transformations and delete by type history. I'm going to name this knee control, and then I'm going to copy this name, and I'm going to select this one and Control G to group it. We're going to name the group same one, but group like that. So in the outliner, we got that control over there. Okay, so now what happens if I just select this one and then select the first one, foot IK, and make a pole vector constraint. This knee is actually going to pop to the side, and we don't want that. We want it to stay in this exact same position. I'm going to show you what I mean. So first, I'm going to create a locator. I'm going to move that, hold down V, and snap it to this over here so that we can see it's in the middle. And if I select this one and then Control-click IK and then go into constraint and pole vector, what you can see now is that this one is no longer in the middle. So we're going to fix that. The way we're going to do it is pretty simple. Let's undo all of this like that. So this one's still in the middle now. That's good. We can move this aside for now. So now we're going to go into poly modeling. Create a plane like this. Make sure it's set to 1 over there. Let's go into modeling tools. Let's select the multi-cut. Select one corner and then the other corner. Press enter. Right click, face, select one face, and then delete it. Okay, take this one. We're going to move it over here. Scale it up a bit. And we're going to select the corners. So vertex, select the corner, And then as you're moving it like this, you hold down V to snap it. Do the same for this. Hold down V, snap it down there. Take this one, hold down V, snap it to the knee like that. And then what I like to do, you can do this if you want. I just tend to go into the profile. And then with this one selected, click it, hold down W and click it again and drag to component. And then you select this blue arrow and you can just drag it out like this. We can press spacebar again, go into the perspective view, can take this one. We can do the same thing, hold down V, snap it to this point over there. What we want to do now is we want to freeze the transformations again, like that. Now, since this one's actually in the correct place, see what happens now. If I move this one to the side for a bit, and I put this one into the middle again, and now I bring up the outliner, I select this one, control click foot IK, and then constrain pole vector. See what happens now? It's still spot on in the middle. And yeah, so if I move this locator, we can still, now we can properly control the knee. Perfect. So let's remove that and remove that. Okay, we got the pole vector set up. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna group these IKs, because if I select this one and move it around, yeah, sure, we got some movement, but we want this to be cleaner. So first off, let's take the foot IK and the ankle IK. Let's group them together. Select the group node, press D, move this over there, and this one we're gonna name foot roll. Like that. Now select the toe IK and control group. Let's call it toe IK group. Select the group, press D, and let's move the pivot point over there so that when I select this one, I can rotate the IK from there. With a foot roll, I can rotate the foot like this. Now select both of these groups, group them, name it toe roll group. Select the pivot point, press D, move it over here. For your character, you're probably not gonna have it on the actual joint, but maybe like at the very tip of, like, you know, the geo of the foot. But for this tutorial, we're gonna keep it like here, so that when I have this one selected and I rotate it, we can actually rotate the leg like this. And with that one selected, I'm gonna group it again. Call this one heel roll group. And yeah, for this one, same thing there. If you have your geometry going down here, like a foot, you probably want to put it at the end of there. So we're just gonna pretend that we have some geometry and put it over there. And yeah, select this one and rotate. Now we got our heel roll. Okay, perfect. So we got the heel roll, we got the toe roll, and in there we got the foot roll, and we've also got a separate one for controlling the toe. Okay, so let's create a very simple foot control for the entire thing. So let's take a circle like this. We'll scale it up a bit, like that. Maybe grab some of these vertices like this to make it into like a little bit of a nicer shape. Oh, sorry. Maybe something like that. Okay, so that's our perfect foot control. What we want to do now with this foot control, remember how we set the rotation order of the joint before? So we're going to do the same with this one, because if I rotate it like this, we're going to hit gimbal lock if we're trying to rotate the foot around. So go into the same one there, Control A to go into the attribute editor, go into the circle, and rotate order, we're going to select the same one as we had before. Okay, so now that's set up, and of course we need to go into modify freeze transformation and delete history as well. We're going to name this one foot control, and we're going to copy that name. We're going to group this one and name the group foot control group like that. All right, perfect. We're actually going to go into the heel roll group, and now we're going to group this one again, and we're going to call this foot IK group. And we'll set the pivot point there. We're going to set it to the ankle over there. Same thing with this control here. See, we don't want the pivot point down there. We're going to do the same. D and set the pivot point over there. Select the foot control, right click the foot IK group and constrain parent constrain. Okay, so now when we're moving this one, we can rotate the foot however we want, and then we can also move the knee like that. All right, so we're getting somewhere. Let's zero that one out. We're gonna create another control so that we can control the toe as well. So let's create another circle. Let's put that one here, keep the pivot point there as well. We're gonna rotate this one up a bit, like this. That's a perfect one, like there. We're gonna freeze the transformation there and then remove the history so that we got the rotation like that. We're gonna do the same there. Name this one toe control. Copy this one, make it into a group. Control G. Name this one toe control group. So with this control selected, we're going into the foot IK group. We're gonna dig into these groups that we made and select the toe IK group like there, like so. Constrain, parent constrain. Now we can rotate the toe around, but what happens if we're trying to move this? See, that does not look good. No worries, we're gonna fix that. Let's look at this hierarchy. We got the heel roll, which rotates like this, and then we got the toe roll that rotates like this, and the foot roll that rotates like this. We want to bring this control with a toe roll because that is underneath the heel roll. So we're going to select the toe roll group, and then we're going to select the toe control group, and we're going to constrain parent. So now when we're rotating the toe roll, it's actually going to bring it with it. Same thing with the heel roll, because that one's bringing the toe roll group with it. And with this one, that's moving the entire thing like that. Okay, but now we want some attributes over here. We don't want to go into these groups and rotate and set keys over there. So have this control selected, go into edit, and then add attributes like that. And we're gonna name this one toe roll and use it as a float, minimum 0, maximum 50. You can use whichever number you like. I prefer this one. Default 0. And what we're going to do, we're going to press OK. We could keep on adding more, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Press toe roll, use edits, and then set driven key. We're going to bring this one up, and we want the toe roll to be the driver. So let's load the driver over there. And then we're going to go into the toe roll over here, and then we're going to set that to driven. We're going to look at the rotation of the toe roll. See, it rotates in X like this. So let's select the rotate X and the toe roll over there. We're going to key that, go into the toe roll. We're going to set that to 50. Go back into this one, select the X, and rotate it to whichever position we feel comfortable with. So let's set it over there, and then set another key. Okay, so what we've done now, this is going to work, but I'm going to show you something that you can bump into. When we're using this one, it does it fine, but if we look at the toe roll group over here, and then we go into the graph editor, you can see that this curve, like when we're rotating this one, it's actually going to start slow, and then it's going to pick up speed, and then it's going to end slow again. We don't want that. We want a linear movement. So let's go into this toe roll again. What we can do here, we can just right click and we can set it to linear, and that's going to fix it. So it's actually a linear curve. By the way, you might not see these controls that I have, and the reason I can see them is because I have this one to simple toolbar. This is the standard. We have to go into tangents and then choose this. I prefer to have drop down straight away, so I set it to simple toolbar like this. Okay, so for the next two, we're gonna fix this, so we don't need to go in there. And we're gonna do that by clicking this options button there. Go into animation. We're gonna set these tangents to linear, both of them. We're gonna save. Okay, so now when we set up the next one, we don't need to go into the graph editor and fix what we just did. So we're gonna go here and add attribute. We're gonna choose heel roll and do the same thing there, minimum, maximum, and add. And then we're also gonna add a foot roll. Set minimum and maximum to the same. Okay, so we got the toe roll, heel roll, and foot roll. Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna set up the heel roll. So select this one, select the heel roll, and then set driven key, load driver, because we want the heel roll to be the driver. Open up the outliner, select the heel roll group, and set that as driven. So if we have that one selected, we see it rotates on the x-axis. Press the X and have the heel roll set to 0, which we do, and key that. Go into this one, heel roll 50, go into the group, and rotate this one to where you feel comfortable, probably like this. Set a key, go back to this one. Now this one's set up as well. Let's continue with the foot roll. Press this one, and then now we're gonna set the foot roll group here. Set that as driven. Same thing, it's rotate X there as well, but it's always good to make sure. Set a key, go into foot roll, set that one to 50, go back to this group, and rotate it to where you feel comfortable. Key, and then go back into this one. All right, perfect. So now we have our attributes set up. Okay, perfect. Now everything's almost set up and completed. We're gonna try all of this out. So we got the toe roll, we got the heel roll, and we got the foot roll. And we can also move this one around however we want, and we can control the toe separately as well. So let's zero this one out, make sure the knee works. Perfect, that works just like it should. Now that we know it works, we're gonna tidy up the outliner because we don't want all of this stuff over here. So what we'll do with the skeleton, of course you're gonna keep on working on your rig, but just to show basically what you should do when you're finishing everything up, is that you should group this one, and you can name this one skeleton group. And then we have the toe control, the foot control, and the knee control. Let's group those together, and let's call that. And then, of course, we have the IK. We don't really need to see that. So for now, we can just hide this one. And see, it's a lot more clean now. We got the skeleton group, and then we got the controls group like this. And that's basically it for this simple IK foot setup. One more thing I'm going to show you, though, is something that you might encounter and how to fix it. I'm going to demonstrate it with this Counter-Strike character that I made my own rig for. See what happens if I grab the cog, and then I lower him down. See what the legs are doing. They're bending around so it looks like a frog. This is not what we want for legs, because they don't bend like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the skeleton group. We're going to select the knee controls over here. See the degrees of freedom here. This one actually rotates in Y. So we're going to untick X and Z, and you're going to see the comparison here when I lower them down in the same way. See how this leg is actually bending a lot nicer than this one. So we're just going to do the same thing for his right knee as well. We're going to untick X and Z. And now if I hide the skeleton again and then I lower him down, see how that deforms a lot better. It's something that you might run into. Sometimes you're lucky. You might not have to do this, but if you do, this is a quick and simple fix. Considering a knee joint is actually a hinge joint, so it should only rotate in one axis anyway. I'll probably make more of these tutorials in the future. I prefer to be straight to the point, not to waste anybody's time. So if you thought this was helpful and you learned something, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please check out the rest of my videos. Thank you.